3rd and 4. Gets the first down. Sammy Parker, and did that offensive line ever hold up and give Green enough time to finally find an open man for the first?
Well, that's what they did. The difference in this football team. You heard Boomer Esiason talk about it in the pregame, and you hate to put it all on this. Look at 77 Willie Rowe. He's in there. The offensive line is healthy. This team changes dramatically. And that's what's kept them in the playoff hunt. Dick Vermeil said, we are about our offensive line. He said that at the beginning of the year, and it's held true all year long.
Strength of our team, he says. And Larry Johnson gains only a yard before Fred Robbins brings him down. We haven't had the occasion to really talk too much about Umenyiora nor Michael Strahan to this point.
If we are here in the second quarter with 9+ minutes to go, and we haven't mentioned their names, well, the Chiefs should have some points on the board. So other guys have stepped up for the New York Giants. The defensive secondary, I think, most importantly, covering the receivers down the field pretty good so far in this game.
3 tight ends in for the Chiefs. 2nd and 9. It's Larry Johnson. Johnson to the 10, cutting back middle, riding him all the way down to the 3. Wigman throwing a big block, and Jason Dunn.
Jason Dunn, the 2nd tight end. When he comes in, he's going to block somebody. And when he goes towards, here he comes inside. He's not coming inside to go out for a pass route. He gets Michael Strahan right out of the picture. And Tony Gonzalez, number 88, what's he do? Peels back and gets Umenyiora. Wow, what a job.
Tom Coughlin talking to us this week about how much Jason Dunn can contribute as a blocker. And now 1st and goal to go. Go again behind the rope side, and Johnson gets 1 yard closer.
You want to go left if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. That's where you think you got an advantage. First off, you got a veteran, really big tackle in Willie Rowe, and he goes against O.C. Umenyiora, defensive end, who is probably about 250, 255 pounds. So the advantage really goes to Willie Rowe.
Johnson has gained 45 yards on the ground on this drive alone. Will he be able to pick up 2 more yards? Back they go. Johnson, no. Hit behind the line of scrimmage by Kendrick Clancy, and no gain.
You look at this Chief offensive line. We talked about it. Well, they're definitely trying the left side more than everywhere else. 8 times for 45 yards. That's where the success has been. And what a job that last play by Clancy, getting in the backfield and stop the touchdown.
They brought in Jordan Black to help block on 3rd and goal. 13th play of the drive. One more time, Johnson driving and denied. They tried the power game, and the Giants were up to the test.
It's a good play by the Chiefs. They fake the run right. They go left. Good job by Nick Grayson. That's who gets it done. Playing inside for the first time this year, or since the 2nd game, takes the blocker on and just ruins the running play.
They bring out Tynes. They've got a new snapper on the... No, actually, they're going to bring back Ed Perry. We had heard it was going to be Chris Bober on field goals and PATs, and Perry on punt snaps. But it is Perry, 48, perfect snap, and the kick is good. So the first points of the game from 19 yards out. 3-0 Kansas City. Well, Larry Johnson on the drive, 9 carries, 45 yards, but he did have 3 rushes from inside the 4, and the Giants were able to keep him out of the end zone.
Clancy and Nick Grayson, what a play to stop the touchdown. And he stopped it so well, the Chiefs, I thought maybe they would go for it on 4th down, but it was not inside the 1 yard line, so you got to take the points.
Short kick by Tynes. Morton trying to cut outside, and D. Brown had the angle, and he's out at the 33. So the Chiefs open up the scoring not until midway second quarter, and Santa Claus is coming to town.
On CBS is sponsored by the new Sprint. Sprint, yes you can. New Campbell's Chunky Fajita Soups, hearty soups that fill you up right. And by the all-new Civic from Honda. It'll reverse your thinking.
Well, the playoffs are right around the corner, and NFL experts Pete Prisco and Clark Judge break down which teams will make the cut and who will be left out in the cold. See if your team is in at CBSSportsline.com. So the Chiefs had it for 13 plays, netting 3 points, and Kavika Mitchell is there to meet Barber after the handoff, a gain of only a yard. Tiki has been contained, Phil.
Yeah, he has. Lionel Dalton, a defensive lineman, just comes running through there, chases the runner down the line of scrimmage, makes the play. Kavika Mitchell, Jim, he makes a lot of plays every week for this Kansas City defense. And Sammy Knight, if you don't get him up front, good recognition by him and tremendous pursuit. Run defense for the Chiefs been pretty solid all year long and been very good so far here today.
Giants have seemingly faced second and long, third and long all game long. Setting up the screen, and Barber again is watched closely. Patrick Surtain stops him after a gain of only 2. And tomorrow, the CBS Sports Spectacular, primetime favorites like Joey Pantoliano and Rob Morrow and many more hit the slopes at beautiful Deer Valley for the Deer Valley Celebrity Ski Fest here on CBS. And Tiki steps out on 3rd and 7 and stretching out that knee a little bit.
Yeah, that right knee. Giants putting a lot of pressure on these tackles. 3rd and long quite a few times so far in this game.
3rd and 7 is the current situation. Come busting through, the pass caught, and this will depend on the spot.
Looks like a, well, I'm going to backtrack real quick.
Ooh, no. If the laser line is accurate, then
well,
you're inches shy.
You know it's not. The official marker is on the Kansas City sideline. Again, it's a blitz by the Kansas City Chiefs. Why? I don't know. They're not covering the receivers down the field, and it definitely looks short by the line as you see at that time, Jim. But that line is not official.
That is.
When you blitz for the Kansas City Chiefs, you better get to Eli Manning quick, because the receivers, Jeremy Shockey, they're pulling away fast from those defensive backs. And so far, I have not seen them cover them down the field in a pressure situation.
And Barber's back into the game on 1st down. They fake to Barber. And Manning launches it for Toomer, and incomplete. Jump ball. Patrick Surtain had a play on it for the pick.
Patrick Surtain missed time to jump too. And that's what I like. The Giants, what they do, top of your screen, they will take their shots. They will throw it down the field, and they don't care if the receiver's wide open or not. Boy, good job of hanging in the air by Patrick Surtain. Eli Manning needed a little more time to throw it because he could have thrown this about 5 more yards. Bob Whitfield, that's it. He loves to headbutt him. He goes, that young guy, I'm going to bop him in the head. I'm going to this. And
there was a bunch of that going on right there.
He was talking it up during the week.
2nd down, and Barber's first chance to run a little bit. Gains 8. And again, it was Whitfield throwing the key block.
I like counter plays against the Kansas City Chiefs defense. The Dallas Cowboys last week, they ran some reverses. They had a flea flicker, and they all worked because the defense over pursues. Jared Allen that time comes down the line, gets inside. Now who's going to get it if they cut back? Uh-oh. Don't chase the car. When you chase the car, there goes another one.
call it 3rd and 1. And Barber has the first. And the Giants drive continues now in Kansas City territory at the 42.
Jim, you understand what I'm saying when I say don't be a car chaser?
Yeah, I got that.
You can't chase everything that goes by you. You got to sit there sometimes and wait and let the play come to you.
I thought you were lecturing the Sims family dog.
Well, we know I have no control of the household, and that includes the dog. Just happy to live there.
You've lost total control, haven't you?
Absolutely.
First down for New York. Barber 28 yards on 12 carries. And that pass, well, influenced by the pressure of Jared Allen. Here's the lineup tonight on CBS after football. Begins with that jolly, happy soul, Frosty the Snowman, then Frosty returns. And how about Robbie the Reindeer?
One of my favorites.
And 48 Hours Mystery. That's all tonight right here on America's #1 network.
You know, what we were just talking about, Jim. Dick Vermeil says he just admires Tom Coughlin because he says he's still tough and disciplined and can do some of the things that I can't. I'm just not as tough as I used to be.
Second down at 10. And his defense needs to play tough, but Tiki breaks away from him. And Barber still going. They never got him. What a run. Touchdown. Tiki Barber. Yards. He broke 3 or 4 tackles. He got away from Warfield, got away from Wesley, got away from Knight.
Sometimes when you see a big run by a running back, what do you see? A great run? Yes, he breaks tackles. Or do you see some bad tackling and players who are not hustling to get back into the play? You see a little bit of both in that run by Tiki Barber.
Extra point makes it 7-3 Giants. How did the Chiefs let him get away? Barber just fighting for it, resilient, and rushing it in for the touchdown.
What's going on?
Arm tackles, lack of hustle by the Chiefs defense. I wouldn't want to be in that film room when they watch that run.
Ooh, Gunther Cunningham came over to the whole defensive unit and ripped into him, as he should. Pretty pathetic effort of tackling on that play. And here's Dante Hall trying to return it for the Chiefs. Only to the 28. And a timeout on the field with 2:41 to go in the half. And the Giants lead it 7-3.
On CBS is sponsored by Dell. It's much more than technology. It's a Dell. And by the Acura RL with super handling all-wheel drive.
Monday on CBS, you can see why Entertainment Weekly calls Neil Patrick Harris the #1 scene stealer on TV this season. How I Met Your Mother, all new Monday on America's #1 network. How will the Chiefs this time handle the negative momentum? This is something Coach Vermeil talks often about. They've been able to do that quite adroitly so far this year, but another flag. Could be another false start.
False start, 76, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Coming up, we've got the Sprint halftime report with Greg and the gang back in the studio. Dan, Shannon, and Boomer. They all picked the Chiefs on the NFL Today earlier today. And they got a 7-3 tight one, second quarter. And not quite the scoring productivity I expected.
Well, the Chiefs offense, a couple penalties before the snap, and I don't think the crowd noise is that loud either.
1st and 15. Run it with Johnson. And he gains 3 yards, running into Grayson. Now, this issue for Coach Vermeil about the negative momentum swings, how they really haven't allowed that to affect them all that often. They had, if you remember, late in the first half last week at Dallas, they had that huge turnaround moment going in for a double-digit lead and a sack and a fumble, and instead the Cowboys led at halftime. But they were able to respond before ultimately losing in the end. Flags everywhere, going for Dante Hall, and the coverage by Will Allen. Could be an offside call here
against the Giants, coming on the blitz.
I think Blackburn may have gotten there a little too soon.
Tell you what, if you said a weakness of this Giants defense is the defensive backfield, and so far today they are doing a very good job covering receivers down the field.
Green's thrown for only 66 yards to this point.
Offside, defense, number 57. 5-yard penalty, replay, second down. That'll be the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. And the Giants with the game's only touchdown. Viewers have made CSI Miami a mega hit. Monday, the team exposes a secret that could change everything. Don't miss a new CSI Miami Monday on CBS America's #1 network. We come out of the 2-minute warning, and they get another crack at second down. The Chiefs, 2nd and 7. And you feel, just watching it here, that Chiefs a little flat here today.
Absolutely. Well, when you don't make plays, you look flat. They had 2 opportunities. They took their opening drive. They were going down the field. 2 false starts, drives them back. Then you get inside the Giant 5-yard line. You only get 3 points. That'll make you look flat.
No Larry Johnson in the game. 3 receivers stacked to the right. Now they move Hall to the other side. Green running with it. He's got room to run, and he is going to step out for a first down near the 40.
There's a lot of good stuff on that play. Good coverage by the Giants secondary. They don't let somebody get open when Trent Green scrambles, but that was an all-out blitz by the Giants defense, and they just crush it down inside. Everybody. So Trent Green, when he comes outside, there's nobody there. He doesn't want to run the football.
Boy, did Tony Richardson pick up the blitz of Kendrick Allen. So first down for the Chiefs. Straight drop. Green fires, has the man at the 40. It's Parker, and a fumble on the back end, and they did not rule him down. Giants recover. It's Brent Alexander. Deloach stripped him. And Vermeil is going to argue that he was down, and again inside 2 minutes this would have to be reviewed from up top.
Yeah, that's right. It's not going to be a decision by Dick Vermeil.
And Sammy Parker feels pretty certain that he's going to be ruled down. Let's see.
From the outside, Sammy Parker coming inside. Good throw by Trent Green. Nothing on that replay that lets you see if it was or not, and they're not going to stop it.
Can't believe that they have. Here they go. I couldn't believe they were going to let the action go on from up top, because certainly couldn't tell clearly from that angle.
Timeout, Kansas City.
Oh, the Chiefs. The Chiefs see that they're not going to get the review from the booth, so they want the timeout for more replays to have a chance to come out.
That's right. They want to see more. Let them look more up top. Knees not down. The football comes out.
That looks like a fumble.
Kansas City.
A fumble.
We were buzzed by replay. We'll review the play.
Now they are going to review it. And that is going to be a challenge, well, from up top, but one that will not be overturned from the booth. You don't believe. Examining the play, the 24-yard pass play to Sammy Parker with the fumble ruled on the field.
And
on the back
it's a
end.
fumble.
Yep.
The hand goes to the ground. He still has possession of the football. Let's make sure the hand, but that is not the hand and the foot. That does not declare you down.
Parker sees the replay on the Giant screen and knows he has cost his team.
Took quite a while, though, to look at it.
By the way, they've given Kansas City the timeout back,
which they should have. The play, as we watched it even live, it was close.
After reviewing the play stands as called a catch, fumble by the receiving team, legally picked up in advance, first down Giants.
The way Carollo said that is almost like he wanted to make sure there also had been a catch.
You're right. Didn't think about that as I was watching, but absolutely. He had possession. He took a couple steps. He did everything you can do. And it's hard to see where if DeLoach knocks it out or Sammy Parker just kind of lost control of the football as he was going to the ground.
For the Giants, their 34th takeaway of the year, second best in the league to Cincinnati. And meanwhile, Kansas City giving it away, well, in the last 6 games, 11 times. So New York can do some business here in the last minute 39 of the first half.
3-man rush by the Chiefs.
And great snag by Carter, leaping to make the grab at the 40 and gain 16. Giants hurry up to the line.
Nothing like tall receivers. They catch a few errant throws. That time Eli Manning high, but Tim Carter goes up, makes a nice catch.
Manning again with the protection he needed. He has Shockey, who is shoved from behind by Mitchell. And down at the 23, Warfield finished him off at another 17 yards.
Well, if I was the Kansas City Chiefs, I'd abandon this 3-man rush. No pressure on the quarterback, no coverage down the field.
Giants and Barber got tangled up with Seibert, his lineman. And it's a loss of a yard. A timeout called by New York. The Giants trying to take advantage of the takeaway.
Ooh, you okay?
Healy hits it. The crowd goes, oh, and then the football hooks in. Yes.
They were ready to pounce.
Oh, they were ready to ride him hard.
Oh, look at this.
And
man, a sudden snap hook at the end.
And look at his body language. He doesn't like it. It's like you playing golf, Jim. You hit the putt, you go, that's terrible. Oh, it went in. Yes. So sometimes, yes. I didn't mean to say you play golf.
I know what you mean. Left to the out of bounds stake. In my case, I know it all too well. On the ground she goes. Horn hammered 32-yard line. Well, the Chiefs do with 23 seconds and 2 timeouts.
Well, last week against the Dallas Cowboys at the end of the game, I can't remember the exact time. I'm going to say 16 seconds. They took it all the way down the field and got a field goal attempt out of it. Of course, they missed it. Bad snap. Not a good hold. When you're one of the best offenses in the National Football League, you always have the thought of attacking. So the Chiefs come out. See what they do with 23 seconds and 2 timeouts.
Trying to do something. They go screen and the pass dropped by Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson, they have it wired. They've got the defensive backs way off the ball. And the only person, look how far the defensive backs. Nick Greisen is the only defender. And Casey Wigman, number 62, is going to get him.
Wow, that could have been 15, 20 yards easy.
That's if there was a great tackle. It's going to be 20 yards before they got to him.
For 19 seconds. Dump it, and this time pass was low, but it's Richardson mishandling it.
That was the defensive ends, the aura of Michael Strahan and Osi Umenyiora. So Trent Green just gave it a little push because I think he thought if he took the football back that one of the defensive ends from this side might have hit his arm. He feels them coming behind him, so he kind of pushes the football. Boy, they can get upfield. Two big guys that got the speed and athletic ability of linebackers.
Try the screen to the other side with Johnson. And he is stopped short of the first as the time runs down. And the Giants take the timeout. They want to force Kansas City to make a clean snap.
Yes, okay. You know, they signaled that the Kansas City Chiefs called timeout, so I was a little confused. Good call by Tom Coughlin. And you go, oh, come on. Why would you do this? Well, like you said, snap the football. Let's have them punt it. Maybe you block it. Maybe there's a return for a touchdown. Never let an opportunity pass in the NFL.
Well, let me ask you this. They've got the punt team ready to come on the field. Why wouldn't you, with 4 seconds left, just go ahead and keep the offense out there and toss a Hail Mary and try to get a pass interference call or something else?
What if it's a bad snap from the quarterback, from the center to the quarterback, and he has to fall and there's 2 seconds left? You give the Giants a play. I can give you a lot of reasons why you don't do it.
Well, Ed Perry, remember the low snap last week on the field goal try at the end, and much maligned all week and talked about back in Kansas City. He's in for the punt snap.
Well, I'll guarantee you this, he's warmed up because he has been snapping the whole game over here on the sideline.
Wearing himself out. Clean snap, Colquitt, clean kick. Morton fielded at 15. Sapp lets him get away from him. Horn will not go, and the half ends with the Giants leading by a touchdown at the intermission. Giants with 10 points late in the quarter. Saw Sammy Parker. His fumble set up the last 3, and Barber with the beautiful run from 41. The game's only touchdown. Barber from 41 and Feely from 41 for that matter. Let's go down to Bonnie.
Coach Vermeil, would you say it's accurate that your team's a little bit out of sync on both sides of the ball today?
We have been a little bit out of sync. We've had some penalties on defense. We've had some illegal procedure movement penalties on offense. We've got to get back and sync this. We've got plenty of time. I'm confident that we can do that, but we've got to be just smoother in everything we're doing.
Coach, thank you.
All right, Bonnie, that's the end of the first half with the score. The New York Giants 10, the Kansas City Chiefs 3. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
This is gonna be
Sprint halftime report. Sprint together with Nextel. Yes, you can.
Welcome back to our New York studios, the Sprint halftime report. I'm Greg Gumbel, along with Boomer Esiason, Shannon Sharp, and Dan Marino. At halftime at the Meadowlands, the Giants lead the Kansas City Chiefs by a score of 10-3. You knew the Giants were going to lean on defense and Tiki Barber, and it paid off, Dan.
It really was against Tiki Barber. I'll tell you, he's all over the field today. He's the Giants MVP. Taking an early screen pass, and then he's on the sideline checking his knee out, saying, well, let's see how that feels. Well, look at this cut right here. Double cut back inside. He is taking it all, and he's doing it all for the Giants and breaking tackles and finding ways. Look at that broken tackle there. Another arm tackle broken. And this was a fantastic 41-yard run for the Giants MVP. Keep giving it to him. Don't put Eli Manning in a tough situation.
And the new and improved grandmama, Larry Johnson, making his 7th start. The previous 6 all ended with 100 yards, and he's well on his way again. The Kansas City Chiefs make no mistake. They want to run this guy. They want to give it to him as many times they possibly can. And here going to the left side behind Willie Rowe over Osei Umenyiora. They're doing a great job giving him the football, and they know this is the way they win.
And the Giants defense had to try to stop Larry Johnson the first half, 16 for 75 yards. But where it's important, down inside the 5-yard line, they have a goal line stand. 3 stops in a row. Larry Johnson make him kick a field goal. That was a big time stop by the Giants defense. 2 pretty good running backs at work today. Larry Johnson, 75 yards on the day. Tiki Barber with 69, 41 of them on the touchdown run. 10-3 Giants in the lead at halftime. Earlier today in Foxborough, Patriots clinched the AFC East title against Tampa Bay. 3rd and goal from the 2. Tackle eligible is Tom Ashworth. 2-yard touchdown pass for Brady and 7-0 New England. Then running back Corey Dillon from 3 yards out made it 14-zip. New England's Tom Brady. threw 3 of these touchdown passes today. This one to David Givens, 16 yards, and the Pats went up 21-0, and the defense did the rest against Tampa Bay and Chris Sims. Sims back to throw, and New England's Teddy Bruschi right up the middle. That's a 12-yard loss on the play, and it was that way all day long. Chris Sims was sacked 7 times by a haunting Patriot defense, that one for 11 yards. Meanwhile, Brady on the scramble finds Corey Dillon, 28-0 Patriots. The Pats clinch the AFC East.
Well, I think it was important for us. I mean, we had a lot on the line today. I mean, we were playing for the AFC East championship, and you know, we accomplished that. And I think that was a goal going into the week. I mean, we really thought last week we had a great chance, and we beat Buffalo, and Miami played a great game against San Diego and beat them. So it went to this week, and I think we performed well.
You ever seen the duds, okay? The smoke bombs that you buy at the store, you light the fuse and it doesn't go off. We had a couple duds today, to say the least.
So there's your final score. The Patriots over Tampa Bay, 28-0, the final in Foxborough. Boomer, as you look at the numbers for Chris Sims and Tom Brady, how big a hit did Tampa Bay's playoff hopes take?
Well, they took a big hit, and Carolina's sitting at home watching this saying, you know what, we can get really back into this, take control of the NFC South by beating New Orleans tomorrow. Also, Atlanta gets the break here because, you know, now they get back into it a little bit. They have to go into Chicago tomorrow night. Not going to be easy. The good news for Tampa is that they have their final 2 games at home, one against Atlanta and one against New Orleans. So this thing's far from over.
Yeah, but when I look at the New England Patriots, you have to feel good. They have to feel good about what they're doing because their starting 4 linebackers all got a sack today, and that's what Bill Belichick likes to do. He likes to scheme, get as many linebackers on the football field as he possibly can. And this is the one team in a situation where one game you go on, nobody wants to see in the playoffs, and that's including the Colts.
Those Patriots are getting healthy. The current results of today's sprint poll. Who's the best running back in the NFL? You say Sean Alexander. At least 35% of you do. We remind you, we'll be back again tomorrow at noon Eastern with another edition of the NFL Today. The Colts have 2 things on their minds: a possible perfect season and the pursuit of a Super Bowl win. Neither will come easy.
We like the Beatles right now. I'm sure they're tired of hearing about the hype, you know, about the undefeated season. So everyone's going to be gunning for you to be that team to knock you off.
After a 2-5 start and a high-profile scandal, Mike Tice talks with Boomer about the Vikes' turnaround into playoff contenders.
Early in the season, when the record wasn't good, and then again after the boat issue, I was given an assurance by Ziggy Wilf that this would be my team for the season.
And then the playoff hunt heats up as Week 15 continues with a full slate of regional action here on CBS. In our early starts, most of you will see the Colts try to stay unbeaten as they host the Chargers. Elsewhere, the Steelers face the Vikings, the Jets meet the Dolphins. 2 late games, the Bengals against the Lions, or the Browns take on the Oakland Raiders. And we thank you for joining us on the Sprint Halftime Report. Back to Jim and Phil for the second half of the Chiefs and the Giants after this.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint, together with Nextel. Yes, you can.
Over 65 million people.
Yeah, I really didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I was embarrassed in March. My family was embarrassed. But I'm standing here today.
He stood tall. He's fought through all of this. His team is really focused. They believe in him.
Kyle Lorton, you're on borrowed time here. If you don't start playing better, we're going to start seeing Rex growth.
The NFL Today, tomorrow at noon Eastern.
Scoring 10 points in the final 2:47 of the first half. Been a tough time for the Chiefs. They've been in sync so much the last month, but not today. They were stopped inside the 5, and Tiki was a pinball wizard as he found the end zone. We're back after this message and a word from your local station. Then you're watching the NFL on CBS, America's #1 network. It adds up to 10-3 Giants. We're about to embark on the second half, and Phil, your observations.
Giants took advantage of the opportunities that they had in the first half. That's why they got 10 points. The Kansas City Chiefs, they didn't take advantage of their opportunities, or, you know, I'm being a little general, but they're not playing with the sense of urgency you'd expect from a football team that has the Giants, who are all beat up, have all those injuries, they just didn't come out and play the way I expected them.
As we see the halftime stats, how does that happen? How does a team, when there's so much riding on it,
well,
not just picking on the Chiefs, you see this around the league.
You look at some of those numbers, 3rd and long by both teams. The Giants did the better job of that. Jim, you know, you can only get emotionally really revved up sometimes. You can't do it every week, and the Chiefs have played a lot of tough games of late, and they looked like a tired football team in the first half.
And again, this game brought to you in high definition. Kansas City will have the football to begin the second half.
So I'm sure Dick Vermeil, just the way he talked to Bonnie Bernstein, probably pretty calm when he went in at halftime and said, okay, we played terrible. It's only 10-3. Let's straighten things out.
And it's Dante Hall. And this will give the team a little boost to begin the third quarter, out to the 42 before Butler brought him down. The fantasy notebook, Green right at 100 and Manning 104, as you would expect. Johnson with a big game, 75 on his way to another 100, and Tiki as well, 69 and the game's only touchdown. Gonzalez had catches on back-to-back plays on the field goal drive. And Trent Green brings the Chiefs to the line at the 41.
Giant linebacker cord, beat up because of injuries, performed pretty damn well in the first half.
Pass caught by Parker, and he holds on at the Giants 40, and let's go down to Bonnie.
Well, Jim, despite all of the Giants' injuries on defense, Tom Coughlin pleased with the way that unit's playing. He said everybody's helping each other out there, and there's good knowledge of the assignments. On offense, he said we have to play better in every single facet. We need to see execution in the passing game, more consistent running game, and our guys need to figure out how to block on the line of scrimmage.
With that last connection, that gives Trent Green now over 25,000 yards in his career. Picked up 20 with Parker. Now with the pressure, he steps away from it. Goes long for the big one, and a flag against Will Allen of the Giants.
Good penalty. He stopped the touchdown by Sammy Parker to the outside. All out blitz by the Giants. Will Allen has no help. And he got fooled, so you reach out and grab when you're fooled.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, 25, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that's a big difference from pass interference. It's just the 5-yard call.
And it's a good job by Will Allen. Well, boy, I tell you, it's not. There's the hit that gets the call. As I say, if it was just that little touch before that, that's not much. But he was expecting the football to come out of Trent Green's hand much faster. So he knew it was an all-out blitz. Kansas City picked it up well. And they were looking deep for the score.
And the Chiefs go to Larry Johnson on first down, work in the middle, and dragging a Giant with them to the 28. Carrying Brent Alexander for a gain of 5.
Just to show you the difference in the football teams in the first half, it was interesting what Tom Coughlin said. Hey, we're out there, we're communicating, we're helping each other, because the players know they need to help each other to overcome some of the circumstances, and they did a terrific job of it in the first half. It's called teamwork.
And it's good when the teamwork works, when you don't have the same unit together that you're accustomed to. And Johnson drives it to the 26 before he is pushed back by Wilson.
And I'll give the Giants credit for this too. They make no excuses. When we met Tom Coughlin on Thursday, he wasn't moaning, oh, this guy's hurt, that's guy. He goes, hey, we're not changing the plan. They're veterans. That's why we have them here. That if something goes wrong, they step in, and we expect the performances to stay high.
And you've just described the Patriot system of Bill Belichick that's worked so well.
Well, they got a lot in common, Tom Coughlin and Bill Belichick.
3rd and short. They'll go back to Johnson. Johnson wide open at the 20. And a shutdown move by Butler may have saved the touchdown, but Rofe and Gonzalez created quite an opening.
Willie Rofe, Tony Gonzalez, If you have a tight end, number 88, coming across, he gets the block, then Willie Rolfe pulls around, and of course, he's going to knock a defensive back right out of the way. That's how you get outside. And look at the agility of Willie Rolfe. And Larry Allen, every time I've watched many games, every time he takes it outside, I go, man, he's pretty fast. Just deceptive in the way he runs.
So from the 14, it's Johnson. Johnson, touchdown.
My gosh. That is incredible. Velcro. That's what it looks like. The Chiefs hit the Giants, and the players cannot get off the blocks. A good block by Will Shields. Wellborn just gets Michael Strahan, who can't get away, and he is not touched going in the end zone.
How many times have we seen that this season when Johnson scores from outside of 10 yards and no one touches him? He's over 100 for a 7th straight game, now extending the Chiefs record he set a week ago.
Clinics. That's what it looks like, a clinic on how to block for the run game.
Larry Johnson. Negative momentum, says Dick Vermeil. Doesn't affect us. They've turned it around to start the second half.
Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Well, Larry Johnson, with his 11th touchdown in the last 7 games. Rushing touchdown.
I'm sorry, Jim. Aren't you impressed, though? Can you just, they get so many good blocks in the run game. You just do not see that in the NFL. And you think, well, this week they won't do it. You do a Kansas City Chiefs game, you see about 5 to 10 of them every single week.
The 7 straight 100-yard rushing performances, a little perspective. The all-time record, Barry Sanders, with 14 straight. And the Giants will begin at the 33 off the Morton run back. And you talk about Michael Strahan, where was he on that play? He says, I was whole. Boy, he voiced quite an argument.
And a good demonstration he just gave, and he has let it go because watch, right of your screen, watch John Wellborn. Here it comes. Okay, couldn't get away.
Look at this angle.
It is you can see that left hand of John Wellborn, but when you do it inside the shoulders, that is almost impossible for the officials to see. So that's the way it goes.
So the game's tied. The Giants first snap of the second half. It's a short gain to Toomer. Going underneath the coverage for a gain of 4.
And you know, Jim, that's almost an acceptable practice in the NFL. When offensive linemen get their arms in front of them and they keep them inside their own shoulders and they grab the defensive player, hey, that's legal. It's not going to be called. And of course, Michael Strahan, you could see it jerked him around. Otherwise, if he doesn't have that hold on him, he's going to make the tackle, or at least slow him down.
Second down at 6, and they slow down Tiki Barber on that one for only a yard. It'll be interesting to see. We can only show you a small fraction of Strahan's compelling argument during that timeout, and to see if they might come back and throw a flag later on. Just say, okay, Michael, we heard you.
Hopefully not. They don't do that. Makeup calls, late flags. It's myths. Late flags. They throw the flag as quick as they can. Sometimes it gets caught in the pocket, but I don't think they'll give Michael Strahan a makeup call.
Well, he's still talking about it over there, and I'm sure he hasn't finished his argument. Wilburn, meanwhile, looks pretty relaxed on the sideline, hoping to lead the Chiefs to the end zone for the first time. And there's a little dump off, and Barber high steps it for the first as they convert on 3rd down. Gain of 9. He broke away from Jared Allen.
Just another big play by this Giants offense. Pressure. Here it comes. Kavika Mitchell pushes him out of the pocket. Derek Johnson's all over Eli. He finds a way to get rid of it. Drop that arm down and throw it sideways. Again, you must be able to do that as a quarterback in this league.
Tiki first put a hit on Derek Johnson, then released. Caught the pass, ran for the first. Rewarded with another handle. And Barber's into the secondary. And this time they gang tackle him at the 34. Give Chris Snee and Jeremy Shockey some credit to help spring him for 18.
Look, I don't know the defensive call, but watch over here. Nobody is outside again. And again, a weakness of this Chiefs defense. They over pursue. Everybody can't make the tackle, so nobody's to the outside. I don't know whose fault it is. Kendrell Bell's, Jared Allen's, the defensive back, but I just know nobody was there once again on the cutback.
Gunther Cunningham wanting his defense to respond. Ward in the game, gets the carry. And with the fresh legs, makes a nice move for a gain of, well, we'll give him 4. Tiki Barber this season, 5 a month. And check the right column. Percentage of his team's offense and how it's improved or increased as the season has gone on, all the way to 44% of the offense here in December.
Tells you that, and also it tells you they're kind of in control of the games, and they keep giving it to Tiki Barber, so that drives his percentage up.
The Giants call a timeout.
West Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 40. MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by Zales. Be brilliant this holiday with a gift from Zales.
Well, the Giants right back to riding Tiki Barber down the field. They called a timeout. See, today we were talking about the percentages. 53% of their offense. Total yards by Tiki, 108.
He's too small. He's going to wear down. That was the thought process. I was one of them. Didn't think he could be a long-term focused running back.
And that pass too low for Plexico Burress, who had beaten McLeon.
Get that kind of time as a quarterback, no matter what team you're on, and you take your most talented and fastest receiver, he's going to get open. And that time, Plexico Burress, he just ran the defensive backs across the field.
Only one catch to this point for Burress. Eli telling us earlier this year when Burress comes back to the huddle, tells me he sees something on the field. I listen, and I sometimes tuck it away for a couple of quarters. And look at this, another timeout call. The Giants are left with only one.
Confused, just the facial expression said, oh, you want what? What are you doing? Huh? Great stuff. He goes in the huddle and he just knows it's just not working. The communication, you could tell it wasn't his fault by the reaction of the coaches, and it was a good timeout by the Giants because you're in scoring territory. You got to take it.
It's 3rd and 6. It'll be questionable if they don't convert here, though. And Manning going deep and picked off the timeout. It's McLeon with the interception. So they use 2 timeouts in a basic 2-play sequence.
Had a chance on that play. They had a chance. It's just, I was watching the coverage. The football is just thrown short. That's one of the reasons, the biggest reason why it's intercepted. Plexico Burress is double covered. I don't know if Eli Manning sees the route going this way, if he sees the underneath coverage. There's pressure in his face, and that's what caused him to come up about 5 yards short on the throw. If he can step into it, sometimes when you're double covered as a wide receiver, you get confused who has what area of the field. If he throws that in the middle of the end zone, it could have been a touchdown.
McLeon's 2nd pick of the season. And the Chiefs from the 2 will go with Johnson. Johnson past the 10, still on his feet at the 20, and out to the 30. He got hit in the face, but he gains 28 yards.
Tremendous blocking, tremendous running. Strength by Larry Johnson breaking the tackles. The pitch to the outside, they are making the Giants pay. Tony Gonzalez, talking about the receiving that he can do. How about the blocking he has done today? Again, Will Shields, John Welborn, the center. Hey, just everybody in the Kansas City Chiefs offense.
Tony Richardson coming down the field with a late block on Wilson. And I think Johnson got poked in the eye.
Did you watch those blocks? Look at it from top. Here we go. Kick out, get the linebacker, cut inside. That's Will Shields. Break a tackle. People hustling.
Look at Richardson running down the field.
Yeah, it was close. Got to be careful making blocks like that, especially with your hands when one goes to the back.
So a whole staff around Larry Johnson.
Dick Vermeil's over there.
Yeah, I would be too.
You're okay. You don't need your eyes. You can still do it.
D. Brown takes his position in the lineup. 40 yards after first contact, 137 on the game.
Larry Johnson, once again, he has come to play.
Eddie Kinnison takes the wide receiver screen and moves it out to the 36. Grayson drops him at that point. Since the 1st of November, we've got the top 2 producers when you're talking about yards from scrimmage, rushing and receiving.
Yep, Tiki Barber does a lot, not a lot, but he is a tremendous screen runner, and the Giants are very good where he fakes like he's going to block you. He slips out of the backfield, and Eli Manning hits him, and they get quite a few yards in those types of plays every week. Larry Johnson's doing it almost all with runs.
Johnson back on his feet on the bench as Green throws down the field, and a huge wallop applied by Alexander on Kinnison. And Larry Johnson, meanwhile, is ready to come back onto the field.
This is a good job. This is diagnosing the play. They try to get Tony Gonzalez. Well, you can hear the hit. Tony Gonzalez to clear it out. But the Giants secondary diagnosing the play and making the big hit.
Johnson was in the huddle, now back out. As they'll go with Richardson, the only back. They bring in the extra receivers, Horn and Hall. It's 3rd and 4. Green's pass, good for the first. It's Parker.
Yep.
Making sure he held on to that one.
Well, the Kansas City, they just got the Giants outnumbered. They got them confused. You're going to see 2 receivers to the top, and look, they only can cover 1. Trent Green looks, they did this play a couple times last week against the Dallas Cowboys, and they hit it to the right side. That time they covered the right. He turns to the left and throws it to the open receiver for the first down. Excuse me. A lot of movement, a lot of motion. Tough to always find the guy you want to cover against Kansas City.
Johnson back in, trying to help pass protect, and Green wide of the mark, looking for Horn. Bryson was in on his on the quarterback, so was Torber. You were Tony Dungy. Here's your NFL.com poll. Your question: how long would you play the starters in tomorrow's game against the Chargers?
First off, if I was Tony Dungy, I'd be looking for a pay raise. No, just kidding. I'd be a happy man right now. I'd play my starters from the start until the game was over. It wouldn't even enter my mind to take them out in the 14th game of the season.
2nd and 10, and Johnson turns around and takes it upfield for 4.
That's what's impressive about Larry Johnson. The Giants do a tremendous job of run defense, and he still gets 4 yards.
By the way, is that what you think Tony will do?
Jim, if they win tomorrow, I believe they'll play their starters. As long as nobody's beat up, they'll play their starters all the way through the Seattle game, and I think they'll play them all the way through the Arizona game too.
Which the Seattle game is on Christmas Eve. It's our doubleheader game next week. They got the Chargers tomorrow.
If they win.
Meanwhile, 3rd and a big 6 here for Kansas City. And Green sees an opening, fakes the lateral, and then dives ahead. He had right behind him Dunn to his right side, and it may have just momentarily froze the defender enough to make the move.
Sure, it did. It's a fake, and You can't think fast enough as a defender, go, well, there's no way he'll pitch it. The little move, just enough to get Nick Greisen to hesitate, and it lets Trent Green pick up the first down, and a good, quick, aggressive decision by the quarterback allows the first down.
A 13-yard scramble.